It's the morning after the big party, and I'm hitting the road. I'm heading south to rural Oaxaca. Unlike Mexico City, the influence here is much more Aztec than Spanish. The Aztecs always celebrated death. Life, they said, is just a dream. Only in death are we truly awake. If there's ever a place where I'll see spirits coming back to Earth, this is going to be it. Today's Day of the Dead is a 3-day festival mixing the ancient Aztec traditions with the Catholic All Saints' Day. It's very different from the way I've grown up to think about death, which is, well, not to think about it at all. I wonder if celebrating something I prefer to avoid will make it easier to deal with.
Catalina? Ah, mucho gusto. Me llamo Stefan.
Mucho gusto.
Mucho gusto, mucho gusto. Thank you very much for letting me come and visit you. Look at this place, it's beautiful.
I've been invited to spend the festival with Catalina and her family.
Is this the Virgin of Guadalupe?
Así es.
This is extraordinary. What is this room?
Nosotros para nuestras visitas está primero Dios y luego nosotros.
And this is all your family?
Ah, sí. Ellos son mis papás.
Uh-huh.
La fotografía mía.
Is that you?
Sí.
Is that you? Oh, wow! You have big cheeks then. Wow, that's the way to have a kitchen.
Catalina's mum Guadalupe is busy cooking for the Day of the Dead feast.
Who does all the cooking for Day of the Dead? Is it your mother or is it you?
Pues entre los dos.
So has all the really tough work already been done, or have you got me here to do all the hard work?
Yo creo que sí.
Excellent.
Catalina's father Andres comes home from work early to help with the preparations.
I love your hat. That's very cool. Have you just come in from work?
Sí,
You've got to give your wife a kiss when you come home. Thank you very much for letting me come and join you.
I've been wondering whether they really believe the dead are coming back,
Muchas gracias.
or if the whole thing is mainly an excuse for a big party.
So, is everyone looking forward to the Day of the Dead?
Pues ya viene su fiesta y a lo mejor viene. Y estamos pues esperando.
It's such a huge jump for me because I've never experienced this before. Is there anything that I can do to sort of prepare myself, to get myself ready to try and sense some of my family that's passed away?
Recordar cómo eran los que ya fallecieron y es como celebrar el cumpleaños de alguien ya fallecido. Hay que hacerles cumpleaños.
Catalina's not the only one who thinks the dead are returning. Whilst in Britain, we tend to associate death with misery, here in Oaxaca, they have a very different outlook. Every night during the festivities, huge parades take place in the city. Here, life is turned upside down. Locals dress up as skeletons, men dress as women, and parties are thrown in graveyards to welcome death. I meet up with Jorge, who helps to organize the festivities.
We're celebrating the Day of the Dead, but it's more for I think it's more for the Day of the Lives, because we're going to have a great party tonight.
Day of the Dead seems to be a chance to laugh at death and show you're not afraid.
Sit down.
Okay.
I really need to throw my heart and soul into the festivities if I'm going to understand what they're all about.
Calavera, ¿qué más?
We meet up with Virginia, who's keen to dress us up.
Solo hay una cosa.
Virginia dresses me up as Katrina, Day of the Dead's most famous character. She represents a rich old lady, a reminder that even money can't keep us from death. Jorge's also a Katrina, but of a slightly different proportion.
The thing is, what happens if I lose you in the crowd?
No one here seems to think it's bizarre to get dressed up like a dead granny. And I have to admit, it's strangely liberating. I'm not any closer to understanding the true meaning behind Day of the Dead, but this soon feels like the most normal thing in the world. The next morning, I find myself in Oaxaca's largest graveyard. I've come to meet Nora, a local historian, who wants me to meet her relatives.
So where are we taking these to?
We go to see grandmother. Actually, the space was first for grandfather. The grandmother died like 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. So what we're doing is we go and bring them some flowers to her tomb. There is a tomb.
This one here?
Right here.
Wow, it's a whole house.
Yeah, it's bigger, no? My grandfather and my grandmother is here.
Yeah.
And you see the pictures right there. We really believe the grandmother, grandfather, and all the people who pass away and you love it, they're coming back.
They're actually physically coming back?
The spirit is what is coming.
Spirit's coming, okay.
The spirit is what is coming back. And that's why we try to prepare all the good food, you know, they love to eat in that time. You know, Oaxaca people doesn't have money for another things, but for food and for flowers and for the celebration is just, you know, unique.
You'll always find some money for that.
You're always going to find money for that.
Nora understands that the whole idea of Day of the Dead is a bit of a mental leap for me. Eating is central to the whole experience, and she thinks I'll understand it better if I help her make mole.
Come on, Stefan, let's go make the mole. We have to prepare this before, you know.
Mole is a traditional Oaxacan sauce that's been served since long before the Spanish arrived.
So we're going to make
Now it's the food of choice for welcoming back the dead.
Why mole?
Why mole? Well...
Why not guacamole and a few tacos?
Guacamole and a few tacos is really casual. And this is really elegant. This is for a really special...
For
a really formal occasion, okay? All the peppers are clean, and I have here, guess what? Lard.
Lard. Hey. That's where the flavor is.
This is a poured lard, and this is the most wonderful thing.
You don't mess about, do you? That's about 3 heart attacks you got.
You need a lot.
This really is going to be Day of the Dead.
Yes, we need a lot. You see how it turns brown?
You're kind of deep frying them in lard. Yeah.
That's why you need lots of lard.
Look at that. Oh, smells fantastic.
It smells good?
Yeah. Does cooking have a spiritual significance for you?
Yes, of course. 4 years ago, when we cooked for the last time, grandmother and I, she told me she was feeling like she was going to pass away. And she told me that I better learning well and getting the right point to the mole, because she was not going to be with me the next year. The next year, she was not here, but the spirit was here. She loved to cook, so she was always around checking everything. And to me, this is the most closest I can get it to her.
So was she basically saying to you, you better learn this because I want you to cook it for me when I'm gone?
See, basically that's what she said. This is what you need. Exactly like this. Okay? Like that.
Fantastic. It looks like mud.
Like mud. No, es más bueno que el mud.
The mole already seems like a coronary waiting to happen. So what does Nora do? She adds chocolate, an Aztec favourite.
This is gonna be rich, rich, rich. You wanna taste it now?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
It tastes really smoky and thick and kind of meaty and just a really deep, deep, deep flavour. Look at that. It's outrageous.
The mole is just a sauce. You can add anything to it. But the most popular ingredient is chicken.
Okay, let's go bring a plate. Okay?
Exciting.
Salud.
So, to grandmother.
Sí, to grandmother. Ooh.
So am I experiencing a little bit of your grandmother here?
Of course, you feel like she's right here, checking our faces and see how much we like it.
I can't help noticing Nora's sister Lorena is overcome with emotion. The smell and taste of her grandmother's favourite feast is making the memories come flooding back.
Why are you crying? Because
¿Por qué lloras?
Is the memory of your grandmother
¿Te
a good
la
thing?
recuerdas?
Sí, todo esto para mí es...
All this is her.
But is this a good thing or is this a sad thing?
¿Es bueno o es mal?
Es bueno.
Es muy
pero
bueno.
Está aquí conmigo, pegadita.
Oh, you're making me feel all upset there as well.
Yeah, that's the feeling. And that's why all this.
Yeah.
That's why the Day of the Dead.
Early the next morning, I'm back at Catalina's for day 2 of the festival. This is the day when those who died as children return. All across Mexico, people are in their homes, tending their altars and waiting for the dead infants to arrive.
I'm not a particularly sort of sentimental person, I don't think, and I don't believe in ghosts. But there is a huge sense of a build-up to something, and it's these sensual things, foods and smells and sounds, and the idea of being here where people truly believe that the dead are coming back. And I'm wondering if it's beginning to carry me along. The big difference is everyone here is really excited and happy, and I'm feeling tense and a little bit frightened. This is an interesting situation. Catalina has said that she wants to interview me and ask me a few questions, which is a bit of a relief, really, because it takes the pressure off me. What did you want to ask me?
Estefan, necesito que cierres los ojos. Ahora imagina que el familiar que más quieres ha fallecido. ¿Qué sientes?
I can't imagine that. I can't imagine it.
Yo ya lo pasé. La persona que más amé en esta vida fue a mi abuelo. Añoras a la persona y necesitas verlo otra vez. Así me pasa a mí.
Is he on his way here now?
Sí, él ya viene en camino.
Catalina's determined to get beneath the skin of my English reserve.
¿Cómo es tu familia allá en Londres?
One really interesting thing that I've been thinking about for the Day of the Dead is that my father never knew his father because he died in World War II, and he didn't even know that was his real father. He thought that his father was the man that his mother married after her first husband died. And I never knew, obviously this guy's my grandfather, and I never knew him. I've never pictured him. I always thought somebody else was my grandfather. So it's a really strange time, and don't want to get all sort of hocus-pocus therapeutic about it, but I kind of thought that going through the Day of the Dead and being able to concentrate on this guy that I've never really thought about before as my grandfather might help me understand it a little bit better, maybe understand my dad a little bit better.
Te pasa lo mismo con mi bisabuela, ya no la conocí. No tengo una fotografía real de ella, pero solo bastan las palabras de amor que me hablan de ella para volverla a sentir otra vez.
The other person that I'm very keen on trying to focus on the Day of the Dead itself is my wife's mum, who died when my wife was 16, just a couple of days after her 16th birthday, who I also never knew, but I'm so thankful for my wife and for being the grandmother of my children. Are you feeling okay? Are you okay now?
Sí.
With 3 hours to go before the dead come back, the altars are stacked high with food.
Why do you put food on the altar?
El altar tiene un gran significado acá en el pueblo. Este plano que estamos poniendo significa la vida, la abundancia, lo que da la tierra y lo que nuestros seres queridos comían y disfrutaban cuando ellos estaban en vida. Así que por eso le estamos ofreciendo lo mejor, la mejor fruta de la temporada.
This room now smells so strongly of all these flowers. The food all being here is such a strange thing to see all this edible stuff. It's an incredibly sensual experience already that the incense is being prepared and things like that. So it is an earthly sensation that should drive you into feeling a certain way and maybe feeling that the dead are coming back. But it's still a big jump for me to make.
It's 3 o'clock. We're about to receive the souls of dead children. Catalina's family have never lost any infants, but they'll be receiving the souls of kids who don't have any family left alive to remember them. Andres prepares the room as the local church bells ring to let everyone in the town know that the dead are on their way.
Do you have a sensation of them being here now?
Sí, ellos ya están aquí. Ellos están entrando. ¿Viste el aire que se formó? ¿Y viste que el incienso se movió? En ese momento entraron ellos.
Just after the bells started ringing, there was a big rush of air outside and the incense poured out of the room here.
Así es. Es como si una persona entrara en vida. Así lo mismo sucedió ahorita. El aire movió. Ellos están aquí.
Okay. So, did I have the same experience that they did and think that the souls of the dead were coming in? No, I didn't. But did I have some kind of spiritual journey? Of course I did. I was concentrating so much on the idea that children had died and that their lives are worth celebrating. And so, yes, you do get some sort of sensation that the dead are here with us.
As night falls, we head towards the graveyard.
Looking forward to seeing the cemetery.
We're going to decorate the tomb that holds several of Catalina's family, including her beloved great-grandmother.